Hey, Houseguest! Welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Yay! Our Houseguests of the day are Jeff and Amy Jo White and Christine Caruso. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great day so far. Before we get going here, I also want to thank all of our super chatters from yesterday because you guys are a huge part of why we're able to make this show happen. So thank you so much. Angela H, Jefferson Tucker, Sheena123, Dawn MH302, Janine Hanberger, Greg Landry, Vajrath, Greg Landry again, and Erica Haynes. Thank you all so much. You're incredible. Incredible. And I also want to let you guys know that our latest BB Puppet Theater is up. It's a lot of fun. If you guys haven't seen Righteous Gemstones on HBO, what are you even doing? It's a great show. But the song that we parodied in this week's episode is from Righteous Gemstones, and it's stuck in my head 24 hours a day. Sorry, I'm just trying to pump this up a little bit. Let's pump up the volume. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the puppet show this week because we had a lot of fun putting it together. Yay. All right. Oh yeah, you're loving it. That's good. Okay, so let's get started. When we left off yesterday, the POV competition was in progress. Everyone is playing now because there's only 6 people left. And we've got Christmas and Tyler up on the block. So going into this POV competition, Cody is leaning towards Christmas as the target this week. But that is not set in stone by any means. He's been saying over and over again, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do, but he definitely seemed to be leaning towards getting rid of Christmas. However, Memphis really wants Tyler out. He is set on Tyler going, and he is confident that he'll be able to convince Cody that Tyler should be the one to go. Okay, so then, a lot of is going to come down to this POV competition because if Christmas or Tyler win, things are going to change. So the feeds came back at 4:50 p.m. Big Brother time. Cody won the power veto. Has there ever been a season with more HOHs winning the veto in the same week? It's just super boring right now. I mean, every once in a while, it's exciting when that happens because maybe they're making a backdoor move and the HOH wants the veto so they can pull that off. But week after week this season. So it sounds like Cody smoked them. I don't know what the competition was, but whatever it was, he kicked their A's, and it sounds like Nicole was in second place. So it's pretty safe to say the nominations will stay the same, but let's see how many times they flip-flop back and forth on who the target is this week, right? We still got plenty of time left before the eviction. So Enzo and Memphis quickly after the competition reassured Christmas that she is safe this week. They're like, wise guys have your back. You only need 2 votes and you got 1-2 right here. But Christmas is just worried that Tyler is going to try and stir up some shit. She's like, did you see his season? He can pull off some crazy stuff. So she's a little bit worried that he's going to make some magic and stay this week. But what she didn't realize at the time is she was the target in that moment. So yeah, not as safe as she was thinking. So then Enzo also stopped in to see Tyler. He's just killing that social game. And Tyler is in the photo bedroom, sitting on the floor like this, just staring at this picture of him and Angela. He's very upset because not only did he lose the power veto, but apparently he really sucked. He really did not do well in this competition. So he's pretty bummed out. And I think he's pretty confident that he will be leaving this week. And again, at the time, he was not the target. So Enzo tells him, Christmas is already campaigning. Just take some time for yourself, and then you got to play the game, yo. You got to do this. So Enzo and Cody game chat in the HOH room a little later. And Enzo says, Memphis definitely wants Christmas to stay. And he is pushing me hard AF to do that. So then Enzo lets Cody know an important piece of info here, which could be pivotal moving forward. So Enzo reveals that before the Power Veto competition, Tyler came to him and told him about the committee. I mean, Tyler thought that this was going to be like a big deal because he's assuming that Enzo didn't already know about it. But like some context here, Cody already told Enzo about the committee alliance a long time ago. I think it was actually, was it during Enzo's HOH week, I want to say? And Enzo was kind of like, he wasn't like super upset about it, but he was kind of like, you need to stop that. Like, no, we can't have that. So yeah, now he's hearing about it from Tyler. So Enzo says, I know exactly what Tyler's trying to do. He's trying to get me to go against the rest of you guys and work with him. So he says, Tyler told me that he's TT triple threat to the end. So the triple threat is Enzo, Tyler, and Cody. And Tyler's saying, I don't understand what happened or why Cody put me up on the block this week. Like, we're supposed to be in a trio together. So yeah, he also says that Tyler told him that Cody would have put up Enzo as the replacement nominee this week if necessary. And Enzo knows, like, there's no way. There's no way. I mean, I don't think he's really sweating any of this information from Tyler because he's getting a lot of info from Cody. He knew about the committee weeks ago, so he's not worried about it. So then Tyler walks into the room. That always happens. They'll be talking crap about somebody, and then the person walks in the room. So Tyler's like, man, I'm a goner. At this point, again, no. At this point, it's leaning towards Christmas leaving. But Tyler says Nicole and Memphis have not said a word to me, so I don't think I'm getting their votes. Cody says, no, you don't have to worry about Nicole because Nicole is not going to base her move this week on what Memphis wants. She is going to ask me what I want to happen because I'm the HOH this week and because they've got a final two. So Cody says Nicole has no one now. Danny was her final two, and now Danny's gone. Yeah, Nicole has no one, sure. Ridiculous. So then Tyler's like, well, why would Nicole vote for me to stay? I put her up on the block. I voted her out. Like, not in a good place in his relationship with Nicole. But Cody says, don't worry about it. We're going to play it up to Nicole that Christmas was the one who jump-started trying to get her out. It's going to be okay. We're going to put this all on Christmas. So, yeah. Cody says when Christmas won the veto during the triple eviction, Tyler was the first person that she pulled aside to chat. Not the HOH, not one of the nominees. So that was like pretty sketchy. So then Tyler's like, yeah, well, it really was Christmas who jump-started that whole thing. But I was all about it. He admits that. Again, we don't know exactly what went down during the triple. I'm hoping we're going to see clips from that during tomorrow's episode. I'm sure we will because, like, what else are they going to show? So, yeah. And then Cody says, just so you know, Memphis really wants you to go, but we're going to make sure that that doesn't happen. Again, Tyler is still really skeptical about Nicole, and he says, we need to take Nicole to the final four. And he's kind of like pandering to Cody here because he was talking about this earlier with Enzo, how he's going to say whatever he needs to say to get off of this block and be safe for the week. So he's saying, like, yeah, I want to go to the final four with Nicole. Like, she hasn't really won anything, so we don't really have to worry about her. But Tyler's like, I can't tell Nicole that I want to go to the final four with her because she's not going to believe me. She's not going to believe me. She's not going to believe it coming from me. So Cody says, don't worry, I'll tell her. I'll take care of it. Okay. So then Tyler's like, well, what if Nicole says before the veto ceremony that she's going to vote me out? And he asks Cody, would you use the power of veto on me in that situation? And Cody's like, and do what? Like, put Nicole up? And Tyler says, no. Like, you use the veto on me, put Memphis up, and then we'll still get out Christmas. Like, I don't care. I'll vote her out. Ooh, that's his final two. But honestly, like, I don't think Tyler cares at this point. Like, Christmas and Tyler are both throwing each other under the bus. They're both just trying to survive this week. I think that final two is pretty much donezo. So yeah, Cody says maybe, I'll think about it. No way, he's not using that veto. But he tells Tyler, Nicole has already said that she wants Christmas out, so you don't have to worry about it. Famous last words. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so then Nicole and Cody chat a little later in the HOH room, and this is where the tide starts to turn. So Cody says Tyler is spinning out. He lets Nicole know that Tyler told Enzo about the committee, and Nicole's like, what? She says, I told you that you should tell him first. Now look what happened. I guess Nicole didn't know that Cody already told Enzo, which is a little bit surprising because I feel like Cody tells Nicole pretty much everything, but I guess he didn't clue her in on that. So she was like, how does Enzo feel about it? Like, was he upset? Cody says, no, Enzo doesn't care. Yeah, because he's known for a while. So Nicole says, well, Enzo always meant way more to me than the committee did. So he's got nothing to worry about there. So then Cody says, well, let's think about this. They're talking about, who's better to keep, Tyler or Christmas? So Cody says, if we keep Tyler, yes, that would leave a target in here for Memphis to go after instead of us. But what else would Tyler say? What tea is he going to spill next? He's telling Cody, or he's telling Enzo about the committee alliance. What else is he going to pull out? They've got a lot of secrets going on. So they're a little bit afraid of what Tyler is going to start talking about next. They're also worried that Tyler will use information to pull in Memphis and get him to team up to go against the three of them, the core three now, Cody, Nicole, and Enzo. So they don't want that. So Nicole says, honestly, I'm down for whatever. I don't like either of the nominees. I want both of them to go. So then Cody is saying, I really want to clip Christmas, get rid of her because she's in the other Wise Guys Alliance final three with Memphis and Enzo. He's jealous about that. He's worried about that. But he says that Tyler staying could be just as bad. So then Cody's saying, all right, Memphis already really wants to keep Christmas. Like, he is set in that. So he's not really sure that he would want to mess things up with Memphis by trying to push too hard the other way. So Nicole says, well, if we're going to keep Christmas, we need to make sure that Memphis would nominate Christmas if he wins HOH. Now, he might nominate Christmas. He is very close with her, but he might nominate her with his target being Nicole. And I think that Memphis believes that Nicole would go against Christmas. And he's really trying here to keep the Wise Guys intact to the final four because he thinks that'll set himself up perfectly. But if he puts up Christmas and Nicole and the nominations stay the same, the core three would still have the votes. So they would just vote out Christmas. Memphis would be pissed. But yeah, it'd be pretty entertaining. So anyway, they agree we can just push to Memphis that Christmas went against his wishes in the triple and voted out Nicole when he wanted David out. So they're going to try and use that to make sure that Memphis puts up Christmas if he wins HOH. Okay. So then they seem to agree now that they want Tyler to go. Things have flipped here. And they feel like he's got to go because he's willing to do or say anything to stay. And that is super dangerous. So Cody says, we got to keep Tyler thinking that he's staying so that he doesn't start spilling information. And then we'll blindside him. Ooh, really setting up for that bitter jury. But honestly, Tyler has already felt like since he was nominated that he's the target. So it's not like he thinks he's safe and he's going to be shocked. I think he knows it's coming. So yeah, Cody says Enzo will be down for pretty much whatever we want to do. So I think it'll be pretty easy to get him to vote Tyler out. So then during this conversation, the feeds randomly cut to Tyler in the photo bedroom wearing a face mask and like staring at one of the photos from his HOH basket, him and Angela. It was just so weird and so bizarre, but I actually posted a picture of it on my Twitter just before because I had to share it. It was hilarious and super random. But anyway, back to Cody and Nicole. The feeds go back to them. And Cody tells Nicole that Tyler was saying that he wants to go to the Final Four with her because she hasn't really done anything in the game yet. Nicole's pissed. She's not happy about this. So she's like, oh, well, that would mean that he thinks that Christmas has done more in this game than I have. And she says, I've done more than Christmas. Christmas has won things, but a couple of the competitions that she's won, she's had thrown to her. Ouch. And then Nicole says, and this is a quote, what has Tyler done in this game besides be terrible at it? Ah! I mean, Tyler's definitely done a lot of dumb shit, but he's also made moves. So Nicole says, Tyler won HOH and sent Janelle home, who anybody in the house would have done the same thing. And Cody says, Tyler has done absolutely nothing. Did Tyler not just win HOH and the power veto during triple eviction and get out Danny, who's like a huge player? Because I'm pretty sure that actually happened. But this is hilarious. And then Cody's talking about how a lot of people this season have like this inflated sense of things that they've done in the game when they've kind of like done nothing. And he said, Christmas, Tyler, Danny. And then Nicole's like, oh, well, having you as my ally is my best game move this season. Gross! That's so lame. Oh my God. So she says, I wasn't throwing competitions, but not winning them has definitely helped my game because I would have made enemies if I had won more competitions. Can you imagine Nicole arguing for a win in the final two? I aligned myself with Cody, so I played a really good game. No, she actually has made moves without being in power, but like I don't think it would be enough to win. That would be a little crazy. I think it would have to be a bitter jury for her to win. Okay, so anyway, after Nicole checks in with Enzo in the have not room, and Enzo's like, what are we doing? That's it. What are we doing this week with the vote? And Nicole says, I think that Tyler should go. So yeah, the tide is definitely turned now. I mean, it could turn back, but it's turned. So then Nicole's like, we have to make sure if Memphis wins HOH, that Christmas will go up on the block next week. And Nicole says, I'm fine going up next to Christmas because we will have the votes to keep me safe. At this point, the core three is just trying to make sure that two of them will not be up on the block together after the power veto, because then they're not going to have the numbers anymore. So, yeah, it's interesting because, like, Memphis is super close to Christmas, but he's also really pissed about what she did last week during the triple. And I guess Memphis also doesn't realize just how close Cody, Nicole, and Enzo are. Like, they are a set trio. So Enzo's putting a lot of stock in the wise guys, but he doesn't realize that those other wise guys want to keep Nicole around. Yeah. Also, Christmas is onto that trio. So she's already tried to warn Memphis about it. I'm sure she's going to bring it up again, but I don't know if he's going to listen. So anyway, from this conversation, it seems like Enzo is on board with taking out Tyler this week. All right. So then a little later, Christmas checks in with Cody in the HOH room. And, this is just her talking to him. He's the POV winner. She's on the block, so she's seeing what's going on. So Christmas says, I just wanted to touch base with you. I believe you're not going to change the noms. And Cody's like, yeah, I don't think so. It would really piss people off. And like, why am I going to do that? So Cody's saying he doesn't have a target this week. He says, I got to see where everybody's at. I don't have anything against you. Like, I'm not out to get you. Excuse me. And Christmas is saying, like, I just want you to take into consideration my character throughout this game and how I played in my first season. I wouldn't be bringing up season 19. But I guess she's trying to show, like, I'm loyal. I named my son Loyal. All right. So then later, Cody and Memphis are in the HOH room, And Memphis is like, man, Christmas is really spinning out up on the block. I don't think she is, though. Like, I think she's stayed pretty calm and pretty level-headed. I mean, she could spin out at some point, but I don't think she is. I think Tyler is much more panicky than her. But yeah, Cody says he's still trying to get to the bottom of the triple eviction flap vote. You know, who started that? Who was behind that? So he's thinking at this point that Tyler was behind it. Because yes, you know, Christmas wanted to make a big move and go after Danny and Nicole. But he feels like Tyler put a little more thought into it. Because when Tyler explained what happened, he said he wanted Danny out. And between David and Nicole up on the block, he figured if I keep David, he's going to be way more likely to go after Danny than Nicole would be. Yes. So that was his explanation. And Cody says to me, that's a thought out process. That's not just like some spur of the moment decision. So he really feels like Tyler is more responsible for trying to flip the votes on Nicole. But like Tyler and Christmas had many conversations about how they wanted to take out Danny and Nicole before David. So they were not going to let that opportunity go by. And they thought that Enzo, I always want to call him Memphis. They thought that Enzo was going to be with them and vote out Nicole since he's talked so much crap about her and talked about how she's a champion. And I don't mean that he talked crap about her, but like talked about how she needs to go because she's a champion. And, he doesn't want to be embarrassed and have a champion win again. So he's talked about that a lot, and they thought that he was going to follow through and vote with them, and he didn't. So he kind of left them out to dry. So Memphis agrees. Tyler is much more methodical in his thinking. And Memphis says, like, this triple eviction, this flap vote really shows that Tyler and Christmas are working closely together. Yes. I don't think Memphis realized that Christmas had alliances outside of him. I think Memphis was under the impression that Christmas was tightest with him. And now he's seeing that's not the case, and he's pissed. So, yeah, Memphis seems shook and pissed that Christmas went against him because he wanted David to go. And that was like direct defiance right there. And Cody is saying, you know, I don't have as good of a relationship with Christmas as it seems like you do. And Memphis says, yeah, well, that's because I have not been saying what I want to say to Christmas. He says, if I said what I really want to say to her, we would not be good. Oh, okay. So then Cody says, Tyler wants to go after big players if he stays, like me and you. So Memphis says, I'd be offended if Tyler didn't target me if he wins HOH. But Memphis says Tyler bombed that POV competition, and he's probably not going to slip up again. Like, we might not get this opportunity again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to not take this opportunity to get Tyler out. He says this is a reason for us to send him out. And Memphis says he's scared of Tyler in competitions. Ooh, he does not want to go up against him in those last few competitions. It's going to be rough. So then they talk about Christmas's wins this season and how she won her HOH by default because Davon got the answer wrong. And then they think about her veto win when Day and Bay were up on the block. Nicole and Danny basically threw the POV to her. So she's had some other wins, but they're looking at these and they're like, these are not that great, these other ones. So they're definitely more threatened by Tyler in competitions. And they feel like Christmas also gets like really frazzled in competitions, which is funny because she's always saying how she like locks in. All right. So Memphis says, if I win HOH next week, I'm putting Christmas up. Obviously. He did say obviously. Those are like the golden words to Cody and the core three right now. They want to hear that Memphis is going to put Christmas up on the block. And it seems like he's being honest about that. I don't think he's just saying that to appease them. Again, I don't think he realizes how tight that trio is. So they agree that Tyler needs to go this week. They want to talk about it with Enzo. What do you know? Enzo shows up a few minutes later and joins them in the HOH room. So Cody says, we were talking and we think that Tyler is the smarter choice to go this week. And Enzo's like, yeah, for you, it's the smarter choice because let's say you make it to the final 2. He's talking to Cody. Let's say you make it to the final 2. Your HOHs have been weak, yo. And they start laughing. And Enzo's like, no, seriously, like, what are you going to say if you're in the final 2? I deserve to win because of Keisha and Kevin. It's pretty lame. But then he says, if you say you got Tyler out, that's it. You know, that's it. So Memphis and Cody are cracking up, but like, honestly, is Cody just going to be like, yeah, I got out. Keisha, Kevin, and Christmas? Like, So Tyler would definitely be like a better, bigger name on his resume. But like also, what have the other 2 done? I mean, Memphis has made some moves, right? But like, what has Enzo done? He got out Kaser, but like, that's not really a big deal at this point because Kaser didn't have anybody. But yeah, Enzo is down to get rid of Tyler. All right, moving on. There was a booze delivery from Big Brother last night, and I think they were also drinking the HOH wines. They had like 3 bottles of wine and I think like 3 beers or something. But Nicole could not drink because she is a have-not. That sucks when you're the only one. Everybody else is hanging out. So yeah, the house guests were all hanging out, chatting. The feeds actually went down for a few hours, which was kind of weird. And then it looks like when the feeds came back, Big Brother had given them delivery pizza. It just feels like Big Brother Canada. Like the outages when they get alcohol, the takeout pizza, like what is going on here? So yeah, Enzo and Cody had a late night chat in the HOH room, but there's nothing new there. I mean, it's pretty much the same stuff we've been hearing this whole time. They want Tyler to go at this point. It'll be interesting to see if it stays like that the whole rest of the week or if they change their minds. But at this point, they want Tyler out. And their big hope is that if Memphis wins the next HOH, he will put Christmas up on the block along with one of them instead of just putting up 2 of them. Okay, so today could be a pretty slow day. They're definitely all sleeping in today, and it's going to be interesting to see if Tyler or Christmas try and get Cody to use the power of veto. I feel like Christmas already talked to Cody and realized like it's probably not going to happen. Tyler might try. I think he's going to be pushing, like, I think Nicole is going to vote me out, and I can't trust her, so I think he's going to be pushing that to Cody. But we'll see. Should be interesting. And then the power veto ceremony should be tomorrow, as usual. So let me know what you guys think. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh, you think that everyone should be evicted and I should win by default? Thanks. That's very nice of you to say. Hello! Oh, you good boy. Hello there.
Oh, hello.
I want to thank all of our super chatters today because you guys are amazing. Yeah, another try, another cry. Yeah, Bowie should win, not me. Bowie and Lucy should win. So here we go. Super chatters. We've got Mary Patricia Dorsey. Thank you so much. And she says she watches with Mary Alice. Dennis is in the hospital. Oh no. I hope Dennis gets better ASAP.
Dennis, feel better soon.
Yes, Dennis is such a sweetheart. You're all sweethearts.
I look at your picture every day.
Mm-hmm. Minnie, come in.
You too, Mary Alice.
She wants to come in. Go. Thank you so much, Mary Patricia. We will be thinking. Yeah, we will be thinking about Dennis. And hoping that he gets better very, very soon. Let me just get this. Hi, Louie. Oh, you good girl. Yes, you are. Okay.
Watch your...
Yes. We've got Adley Bruges. Thank you so much. Ashley Barnett. Thank you so much. And is it Essie Aviles? I hope I said your name right. Essie or Easy or... Essie?
Okay.
Essie? I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong. I'm so bad with names.
She's really lame.
I am very lame. But thank you so much for the support. You guys are awesome.
Minnie said she can't believe you messed that up.
Okay. So we're going to go before this gets a little wild.
Before this escalates?
Yeah. They're just playing around. It sounds a lot worse than it actually is. But hope you guys all have a great Sunday. And just a reminder, there's no episode tonight. It is now on Monday nights. it'll be nice.
So don't tune in at 8 o'clock expecting to see Big Brother.
Yeah. And make sure you guys check out the puppet show if you've not already seen it. It's short but sweet this week.
It's not that short.
Oh yeah, it's not that short, but it is sweet. So let us know what you guys think.
They said they loved it.
Yeah. Thank you all again. And until next time, yes, we will tell Granny that you guys said hi. And until next time, much love.